Hello, my name is Marina Jones, and today I'll be presenting about homelessness media exposure. So to start off, we're going to talk about the media surrounding the homeless community. We're going to talk about the survey content that I conducted, and we're going to go over the LIT review, the methodology, the results of the data collected, and the discussion and some solutions. So to start off, we'll talk about my literature review. So I had 3 solid articles that I kind of based my research on. The first one being Photographing the Homeless, Art or Exploitation. This was an article by Street Photography Magazine that kind of talked about the resources that people were using to post pictures and videos of homeless people. It talks about how there are many resources for subjects rather than taking a picture and walking away, or taking a picture and paying them for participating. And the article is written by an artist and a street photographer that talks about how if you're taking pictures of people in this situation, at least have a purpose or be promoting ways to get involved or ways to help. The second article was How Social Media Misrepresents the Homeless. This article kind of talked about how the media can perpetuate the stigma of homelessness. So it talks about how the media posted with no context kind of just shows you these people as an observation and not anything about their lives or anything about how to help or how to get involved. And lastly, Soft White Underbelly was a big resource for me just because this is one of the most popular media platforms on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram that posts homeless people, and the guy that runs it actually pays the people to participate. In some cases helps them get an apartment, stay on their feet, gets them food, and while his efforts are honorable, they aren't always promoted as such because his videos are cut and sliced and put everywhere all the time, out of context, separate from his channel. So as far as my methodology goes, I went in with a survey, which was a mixed method survey, qualitative and quantitative research. So the qualitative research was just based on one extended response question on the survey. The participants had an option to respond to one or another question that asked kind of 2 questions about how they interact with the media. This was my clause at the beginning of the survey that just makes sure that the participants know everything's anonymous and completely voluntary. They can stop at any time or choose not to participate. And the limitations, I would say, for the methodology would be no discussion. So a wall I kept hitting after finding my data and going through it would be there was room for discussion after, but I didn't have the resource because it was a survey. So the data did show that I was able to kind of understand where my generation stands as far as knowledge about homeless people, how they interact with media online about homelessness. So there were a couple different forms of questions on the survey, but they were conducted on Google Forms. So I was able to see the analytics of the answers after the fact. Google Forms was great because it provided pie charts and percentages as well as numbers and people who participated on some questions and didn't on the others. And it was able to also make me a spreadsheet after so I could kind of see all of that data. So this was one of the question's results. Does social media about homelessness spread awareness in a positive light? 70.9% said maybe. This was another example of the limitation of the study, just because maybe is a big gray area, right? So yes and no is kind of evenly split, 12.1% and 17%. But that almost 71% would leave me room if I were in a group setting to be like, okay, well, why? Why do you think media about homelessness could spread information in a positive light, or why do you think it could not? So this was another question that was split pretty evenly. Is it acceptable to compensate homeless individuals in exchange for photographing or filming their circumstances? Again, I think I got some more clarity on the extended response question just based on the answers they gave me, but This was kind of a almost even split, 51.9% and 48.1%. This was another one of the questions. Again, this is all made by Google Forms. I didn't have to do any of this, which was really nice, but it did break it up so I was able to go over it easily. Can media about homelessness be considered art? So this was kind of touching back on the one article. And again, the maybe is, well, the no was the biggest answer. The maybe was the second largest answer. But again, that would leave room for a discussion after the fact, which I could not do because it was not an in-person interview. So again, based on the results and my thesis, I wanted to kind of be able to promote education, promote hands-on involvement, and even like resources and donations. I think that's the biggest first step we could take instead of just scrolling past a video. So I think these things would work to take away the stigma and to get involved instead of, feeling bad or not feeling bad and just watching it for entertainment purposes. I think the bigger issue is that these are people and you need to have a sense of humanity when interacting with this kind of media. So this is it. This is my thesis statement. Media about homelessness can be inhumane or used for the poster's benefit, opposed to spreading awareness or education about how to help. Education about how to get involved to solve these problems needs to be at the forefront of the media in order to make a difference. And I think that my data proved this right. There was definitely an even split as far as the extended response answers. Not so many people kind of played into the stigma, but there were very definitive answers that said, this person's a bum, this person's bad with money, this person is addicted to drugs, which yes, that might be the case as far as drug, alcohol addiction, mental illness, mismanagement of money, but it's not every case. It can be anything can cause homelessness, and these are people at the end of the day that can be helped, and with the right amount of effort and care, we can make a difference. So, thank you.